am the social worker that was assigned to your case. Can you tell me what brings you here today?
Well, basically, I am a single mother, and it's just been really hard to finish school, and ever since, I have to work, and I don't have anyone to watch her, and I just really want to be able to get school done.
Okay. Before we go any further, I want to explain to you about confidentiality, and that's just stating that anything that we talk about in our sessions will stay between us, unless there's any thoughts of harming yourself or anybody else, or if there's any allegations of abuse on a child or elderly, okay?
I can guarantee there's none of that.
Okay, good. Alright, well, how old is your daughter?
She's 2.
She's 2, okay. And how old are you?
I'm 22.
You're 22. Alright. So what school do you go to?
I went to Fayetteville State.
Okay, Bronco. Alright, what are you majoring in school?
I was a literature major.
Literature? Okay. Well, how long you had left? How many semesters you had left?
Roughly about 2.5 years.
Okay. So then you don't have that long left. Have you, spoken with your advisor?
I have. It's just around the time that she was born, it got really hard, so I had to drop out for the semester, and I had incomplete classes, and it was just, after becoming mom, it was just really hard to get back into the swing of things. Like, I tried to go back, and it was not working out whatsoever.
Yeah. Is the father around? I definitely can see how that would be pretty hard trying to go back to school. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm hearing you saying is that right now, being that you're a single mother of a 2-year-old, you're having some issues with finishing school and trying to figure out who's going to watch your child while you're in school and, having to work as well.
Right. It's just, between a super, super busy work schedule, working 40 to 50 hours a week, and then you try to add school on top of that, and it's already hard enough to find a babysitter, so it's just, I can't. It's really hard.
How long were you and her father together?
Maybe a year and a half. Things got a little patchy, so if you ask him, he'll probably give you a different number.
Okay. So do you talk to him at all?
None whatsoever. There's just really no point. It's one of those things where it's like, you're not gonna fight it. It's like, if he doesn't want to be there, I'm not gonna drag him kicking and screaming and force him to be there. It's his loss. My daughter's beautiful. Why am I gonna force him?
I hear you. Do you have any family that you talk to?
Well, I talk to my family. It's just everyone's so very, very spread out. I'm the only one who lives here in Fayetteville. The closest person is an hour and a half away.
An hour and a half. Okay. Have you maybe talked to them? Maybe seen about like if they have any way they would be able to help you?
I have, but it's like, unless I pick up and move and completely start over, there's really no other way around it.
Yeah, of course. Okay. You said you were in school for literature, correct? What made you want to do that?
I'm a huge nerd growing up. I'm always reading and writing and stuff, and it's just kind of one of my passions, and I'm really good at it. So, if I could be a writer forever, that would be wonderful, or if I could just be, an editor of a magazine or just something, I would absolutely love it.
Okay. That would be good. That would be good. So, you said you wanted to be maybe an editor of a magazine or something like that. Something you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Okay. You say your daughter's 2. So before this, what did you do with her?
What do you mean exactly?
Before, because you've been in school since she was 2. You dropped out when she was
born.
Okay, and you haven't been back since she's been born.
Originally, I would try to go to classes and stuff, and I would have a couple friends who might have been able to watch her, but at the same time, if they couldn't in a day, or it was just, I was missing so many classes, and it was also just really hard to work around that, and then plus a work schedule, it was really, really hard to keep up.
Yeah.
So it was just, ended up having to drop out again.
Okay, alright. Do you get financial aid while you're in school?
I did.
Okay. Alright, so have you tried to search for any daycares around? Have you been out and
there's a few, especially up the street that I live, it's extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a 2-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I live on my own, plus, rent, power bill, car payment, everything. It's just
okay.
It's a a lot to handle, especially since I'm just a waitress and you don't make that much.
Yeah, I can understand that. So where do you work?
I work at Applebee's.
Applebee's. How long have you been working there?
About a year.
About a year?
And before that, it was Waffle House. So I make a little bit more now that I'm at Applebee's, of course, but you still get a $0 paycheck.
Yeah.
You only get paid $2.13 an hour. You can't do much with that. So really, I'm just kind of living off of people's generosity as to how much they want to leave me as a tip.
Okay. Okay. Have you maybe thought about trying to search for a different job, like a different type of job? Have you done any like resume training or anything?
I wouldn't say I've done resume training, but I mean, I have looked at other places. I've tried, picking up second jobs or whatever. I don't know. It seems like really not many people are hiring, and it's just on top of everything. Like I said, I would also need to find a babysitter. So me, I work nights, and I do have an awesome friend who can take my child for nights, and even then, sometimes I still have to call out of work to, because other people have lives too. So even then, even with just working, sometimes I can't even make it there.
Okay. So would that be something that you're interested in doing? Maybe after we can situate daycare, would be interested in doing some resume training and helping you find another job?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, do you know of any programs that are here in Fayetteville that you have?
Not at all, actually, no.
Okay, well, we actually have a program here in Fayetteville. It's pretty much kind of like WIC for daycares.
Mm-hmm.
And they, of course, you have to fill out an application, and they go through a whole process with you of, seeing if you're eligible for it. But they give you, WIC for daycares to where, if you're in school or in work, you can take your child to the daycare and you pretty much pay with a WIC voucher. Mm-hmm. And you'd be able to put your child in there while you're in school. That'd be something you're interested in?
Yeah, I didn't even know WIC did that.
Yeah, they have a program for that. It's child care subsidy. That's what it's called. And they give you like WIC vouchers. It's pretty much similar to that. They give you vouchers for daycare. Mm-hmm.
Is it like a certain type of daycare? Like, because I know WIC for food is certain types of foods. I don't know if that's a stupid question.
No, not at all. Not at all. I believe they have a listing, which actually we'll go through that in our next meeting. We'll go through everything and anything. Like I'll, make some calls and get some more information about that for you.
Yeah.
And we'll go through all of that to see, if there's any listing of daycare that they have, and then that way we can set up, maybe some appointments for you to go look at them and talk with the people that work there, of course, to make you, feel comfortable. So that way it's, a good place for you to put your child in. That'll be something we can do for the next meeting?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. Just a couple more questions before we go. You said that your closest family member is an hour away, and who would that be?
My grandparents.
Your grandparents. Okay. Do you ever talk to them, or do they ever come down and visit you?
Not much, because they are taking care of my great-grandmother right now, who is pushing 100, and they're also in their 70s. So they are very, very stationary, which I can't blame them.
Of course.
So, especially with their age, and my great-grandmother, who I love ever so dearly, even though she's kind of... I think the last time I visited them was a couple months ago, and she actually thinks I'm her daughter. So it's one of those things where I can see why they don't like leaving the house that much. So
okay, all right.
Yeah.
So do you talk to your mom or maybe your dad? Do they live very far from you?
I'm not exactly in the greatest relationship with my parents. Like my mom, she lives out in Nashville. My dad, I wish I could tell you where he lived. He bounces around a lot. Like, I'll talk to him every now and again, say, like, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, that type of thing. But other than that, I really don't speak with them now.
Okay, so, I understand you pretty much just have your friends that you rely on.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Okay, as far as your daughter's father, do you reach out to any of his family, or have you tried ever to speak with him?
Not really. I'm not gonna go chasing after them if they don't want to come to me. That's my thing. If they want a relationship with my child, it's not my responsibility to force them.
Okay.
So I don't really go out of my way to speak to them. I feel like if they wanted to help, or if they wanted to see their grandchild, their niece, then they would come to me. not,
Okay.
then I'm not gonna fight it.
Of course. Okay. Well, so just to make sure that I have everything correct, you're 22, your daughter's 2, and you were looking for, pretty much you need daycare to watch her so you can finish school, which you're in school for literature, correct? Okay. So, of course, the program that we just talked about, and for our next session, I will definitely be looking into getting more information, making some calls, and then we can go through that together, and possibly, if you're really interested into it and you feel like it's something that you really want to do, then we can go ahead and get started with filling out the application, and we can do that together. That way, if there's any questions you can ask, or if there's anything that we're not unsure of, we can call right then and there and make sure that we find out and get the process going for you, so we can get back into school. Okay. All right. Well, is there any questions or any concerns or anything you have for me?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head now.
All right. Well, then I'll see you next time, okay?
Alright, sounds good.
Thank you. All righty.